Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new vlog. Today I'm going to take you guys along with me for a what I spend in a week. You guys really seem to enjoy these videos, which I love that you enjoy because I love sharing them and I love watching them. Over the next few days, I'm just going to share real life and real numbers, how I budget, budgeting tips and tricks, and we're gonna just enjoy this next week together. So I hope you enjoy coming along with me. If you're new to my channel, I'm Liz. I'm a mom in my 40s and I love sharing real life and real numbers. Lots of vlogs, personal finance videos from the place of, yes, let's save with purpose, but let's also spend with joy. Today's Tuesday and it's actually the start of our new pay cycle. So our new budget starts today. I love to budget in a zero-based budget way, which means that every single one of our dollars is given a job at the beginning of the month when we first get paid, and I try and stick to that number and really be intentional with how we spend. But I still do have categories in my budget like home and personal care and wellness and birthdays and things like that. So we do definitely spend with joy, but we try and just be intentional and make room for saving and investing and doing all of those things. It's been a journey. I want to preface that. Definitely not perfect, and have learned a lot over the past few years, getting out of consumer debt and learning how to manage money. So coming from a place of, I know what it feels like to not want to look in your account. And I also know what it feels like to be empowered and be in control of your finances. And that's really what I love to share. I need to go get a hair dye little brush. So random. So I need to go to Sally's because my grays are coming in hot. And one thing that I gave up this year is getting my hair done in a salon, and not for any other reason than I just don't want to allocate our funds for that purpose. It doesn't bring me joy. I don't love sitting in the chair for that long. I just decided that I wanted to do my own hair. So that's something that I do myself. I try and do it every like 10 weeks. I don't want to constantly be doing it. Definitely not a professional, but I have learned some tips and tricks over my past few months of doing it. The biggest tip is to use semi-permanent dyes so you don't get that like harsh line as your hair grows out. It kind of will slowly fade. That is definitely my biggest tip. I need to go to Sally's. I'm almost out of my skincare, so I need to pop into Sephora and repurchase some skincare. And yeah, I'm trying to be intentional and I don't want to overspend. I'm hoping to be really lean this week. Yeah, I'll take you along with me and share this what I spend in a week. Hi. Finished up with my last errand, and this is a judgment-free zone, but today my son starts soccer. Summer sports have kicked in and he doesn't have cleats. So thankfully in the town that I live in, we have a store called Play It Again Sports. So they have like used sporting equipment, and I was able to find him a pair. I picked these. Hopefully he likes them because this is what he's wearing. But yeah, when I went through his stuff, I don't know, I thought that we had bought a bigger size, like I had thrifted a pair, but when I went through everything, I was like, nope, sure doesn't have it. And then my daughter, I thought she could wear his from last year because they're just like under 2 years apart, so usually I can kind of get away with that. But she wore them last night. She had her first soccer game and they were too small. So I also got her a pair of just simple blue ones, and together they were both $62.13. Kind of painful because I know I could have thrifted them for a cheaper price. He said I could return them if they were like not used, so she doesn't have another game until next week. If I happen to find a cheaper pair for her, I will definitely return them, but regardless, they're cheaper than buying them brand new, so it was a win. But got all my errands done. I am now gonna head home. Piper should be done at the groomer soon, so I'm gonna pick her up. And we're so lucky, the lady that does her like grooming. She lives on the other side of our street, so I can just walk her over and then I can walk back to pick her up. Sometimes she even will drop her off, so, and she loves going there, so I need to make sure that I am able to be home for that and then pay the groomer. So far, this new budget is getting a little bit of a ding, but everything is accounted for. So yeah, let's see what else we get up to.
You're gone now, or you're coming back. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that. You're the traveling kind. It's a known fact. Yeah, I know that. Once you've seen all the things, all the places, I hope it means that you'll come home to me. Once you travel the world, all the space.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. As you saw this morning, I popped into the grocery store. Had to pick up a couple staples that we ran out of. I talked about it in my last What I Spend in a Week, but what I try to do in our grocery budget is leave like a $50 buffer from like our main grocery shop that I do an online order for. I try and keep that as like flex money for when I need to do those random grocery store shops, because I just feel like I can't avoid them. There's always like something I'm missing, or the kids need something or ask for something. I try and keep that available. But this morning I wanted to show you how I will track all of those expenses that I did yesterday on my errand day. What I like to do is every single morning I start my morning off with usually my coffee or my smoothie, and I go into our bank account and our Visa and I look for any expenses or bills that have come out of our accounts, and then I track them right away in our budget spreadsheet. Because we do a zero-based budget, I like to keep track. And the spreadsheet that I use, I purchased it on Etsy. I'll try and remember to link it in my description box. I'm really bad at linking, please forgive me. So if I didn't, just write me a comment and I will make sure to do it. I love that spreadsheet because as I add expenses to our budget, automatically takes it from that category. So for example, yesterday I went to the gas station. I spent a little over $100. I will then go into our spreadsheet, plug that amount in, and then it will take it automatically from the $400 that I've budgeted for the month for gas. It just helps me because then every day when I'm doing it, it doesn't like pile up all of my expenses, and it just keeps us aware of what's going on in our account. Because I think what was the biggest problem before we started to track our expenses was we just didn't know what was happening. Like you get paid and then you just start tapping and things are coming out of your account, and then the next thing you know, it's like, where did all the money go? So it's really eye-opening to see the money actually leave your account and track it and just have a plan, and then you can just be more intentional. Say no to certain things because they're not really aligned with your values, and then say yes to things that really are. So for us, that's experiences, like putting our kids in sports that they want to play, and traveling and having fun and doing all those things, and obviously saving as well. But at the beginning, it was just, let's get out of debt. Let's figure out what our values are, and then let's make a plan that aligns with that. Another thing that I do is I go back and forth with this, honestly, like the travel visa points thing. You'll have to weigh in the comment section. I feel like it can sometimes still be a trap, even though I'm tracking everything. I don't know. Dave Ramsey's right when he says that there is an emotional connection when we physically spend our money, whether it's cash or debit. Like, that's actually money that's coming out of our account or our pockets. I feel like Visa, even though we do not carry a balance, I try and pay it off like right away, which is what I'm gonna do today. But it really does add up, and we have been able to put it towards trips and, you know, get free hotel rooms and flights and things like that. But I definitely feel like for me, I need to do it right away. Like I need to pay it off the next day. So for example, yesterday, all of my expenses were done on my Visa. However, because I have a zero-based budget, all of those expenses are gonna come from different categories. So what I do is I keep all of the funds in our checking account for the month. And as I spend the money, and then the next morning I track them. I will take whatever I owe and pay off the Visa the next day. I know some people say that's not good for your credit. For me, I would rather stay in a debt than have good credit. That's something that I'm willing to sacrifice because I don't want to get into that position again. So then yesterday, again, that gas, I put it on my Visa. And then this morning, I'm going to track it in our budget. So I'm physically going to show the money being out of our checking account for that $100 spend. And then I'm also going to add that to the total amount that I will transfer to our Visa today. Yeah, I'm gonna take some time now and I'm gonna do that. Also just go through our account too. Did hydro come out or water or any of those other expenses, and just make sure that I track them in our budget as well. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It is bright and early. Just enjoying my coffee before I gotta get all the kids going. But I didn't check in yesterday because I didn't really do much. I was working, and that's always good for the budget. But we did actually end up picking up a dresser on Facebook Marketplace. I found one. I've been kind of slowly trying to find pieces. I'm reminding myself that it doesn't all need to be done at once. We're doing some renovations, and I say renovations, we're just doing a little bit of like painting and changing baseboards, things like that. So refreshing, I guess, is a better word. And I'm reminding myself that it doesn't all have to be done at once. And I'm just taking my time and kind of doing room by room, or if I find something on Marketplace that works for a space, then I pick it up. So my husband went and picked up a dresser, and it was $160. It's in like perfect condition. It's an IKEA dresser. I'm actually curious. I'm gonna Google it and see what the like retail price is on this dresser. Put that in my son's room. And I also ordered a couple of rugs that I've been eyeing for my son's rooms as well, my two sons' rooms. Purchased one for a living room, and it's so soft and plush and just such a great price for the quality. I noticed that the two that I had in my cart went on sale. So I went ahead and purchased those two as well. So all of that will come out of our home category that I have been adding sinking funds to over the past like year and a bit. Yeah, everything's kind of slowly coming along, and our home is just feeling nice and fresh. We've been here like almost 14 years, so things kind of needed to be done. That is what I spent yesterday. Today is Friday, going into the weekend. I am going to have my groceries delivered around 10. So I love to take this opportunity on Fridays and like clean out my fridge, give it like a super quick wipe, and then put all of the groceries away. I would like to also do a little bit of like veggie prep and ingredient prep for the weekend as well. That is kind of what I'm planning. I want to do some gardening back here, just like pulling weeds, and we need to remulch. That's something that we do every year, once a year, is just grab some fresh mulch for back here. And in the front, I already did in the front on our long weekend, and I would love to tackle this weekend because summer's around the corner. But yeah, that is my plan. Now I need to get going this morning and get my kids to school and then get started on my day. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. It was a beautiful weekend here. The sun was shining, and we definitely took advantage of being outside. As you all saw, we ended up finishing all the mulch. So my husband picked that up on the weekend. We got that done. We did have some friends over. We ordered a couple different pizzas and just, it was very low key. We did s'mores, which I had stuff for that. So it was a lovely, lovely evening. And then there was sleepover mixed in and sporting events and things like that. But all in all, it was a good weekend, stayed on budget, low cost, and it was fabulous. So now it is Monday and I am gonna go run some errands. I try and do errands once a week. I have to go and return one of those cleats that I bought earlier on in last week because they both are the same size. So they're gonna share the one smaller size that I bought. So works for me. They don't have soccer on the same day and I can return those. So I'm gonna go there and then I wanna go into Walmart. I shattered my bronzer. It was like the last little bit on the pan, shattered all over my bathroom. So that was quite the mess. So I need to replace that, and my kids, especially my two younger kids, they are growing like weeds. And we're at the part of the end of the school year. They go to uniform school, but they'll mix in like a lot of casual days here and there. And this morning was one of them. And they both were like, we have like one pair of shorts. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that fit properly. So I want to also just look through the kids section and see if I find anything. And I thought this was a great time to kind of share like an in the moment use of a sinking fund. And if you're new here, sinking funds are a great way to save a little bit of money each month for larger purchases. It just takes the edge off of larger purchases. I find it's just great planning. And then when things like this pop up, you've got room in your budget. Instead of putting it on a credit card, which is what we would have done before, you kind of are planned ahead and you have some money put aside. So I want to look through the kids department. I mean, the Walmart here in Canada is definitely not as good as the one in the States. I find just way better options. I would actually love to do a cross-border trip. Even with the dollar being so bad, I do find that, especially Target, there's just such great options, especially for kids' clothes. So anyways, all that to say, we're gonna run some errands together and I'll share with you whatever I find. I also would love to go through the garden center. I wanna find one more plant for our front porch. And yeah, just go out and about and get some stuff done. So that is what we're gonna do now. And hopefully we find some goodies. Back from Walmart, I thought I would do a really quick haul of a couple of things that I picked up, starting with my bronzer. Like I told you, I cracked the little bit that I had left in the pan, so I did have to replace it. This is my favorite. It's the Marcel bronzing powder and it's talc free. I have like really sensitive skin, so I do break out if I use anything with talc in it. And this is just such a pretty bronzer. It goes on really smooth. It doesn't cake up and I love it. So it's a little bit more expensive, but again, it's talc free. And then I picked up this NYX Fat Oil Stick Click. What a name. But this is really pretty. I just put it on. It's gorgeous, very hydrating. I needed like a new summer color. I thought this was a good one just to put upstairs with my makeup. I like to put something on when I first get ready because when I put on like all of my sunscreen and tinted moisturizer, I feel like I look like I need some color. So I thought this was gorgeous. So I got that. So that's going to go under personal. And then in the home department, I picked up a 4-pack of mason jars, just the Walmart brand. This was around $7.50. And I needed these to make chia pudding containers for my husband and I. We're on a health journey, more protein, just better choices. And that is something that's been on my list for a couple weeks. So while I was at Walmart, I was like, oh, get the mason jars. I needed some more glasses. We just don't have enough glasses. I wanted to get some that I could easily replace like as they break, because they likely will. I can, you know, pop into Walmart and just pick up a new box of these. These were $10 and I really loved the shape of them. I thought they were really pretty and good for obviously wine, but also just for like other beverages, bubbly, sparkling water, things like that. So I picked up 2 boxes of those. The mason jars and the glasses will go under home in our budget. And then, believe it or not, there was no clothes, like nothing. But I did repurchase these flip-flops. I get a pair every summer. They're 10 bucks. Oh no, they went up. $12 and they fit really nicely. They're super comfortable. I have a black pair still from last year, so this year I went ahead and got the beige pair. They match everything. They're good to have for running around and they're really inexpensive. So that is what I picked up at Walmart, and that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me. Just real life, kind of how I budget everything and how I try and make intentional choices, but I'm not someone who's afraid to spend money. I just try and do it in a way that just has intention behind it. And yeah, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and I look forward to seeing you in my next one. Bye everyone.
You were gone.